here from the Financial Toolbox to answer this week's question. So the question comes to me, Jesse, does it make sense for me to diversify between my financial institutions? Very good question, but let me tell you why, in fact, not only is it unnecessary, but it could harm your plan. There's two factors to this. The first is that it's unnecessary. Let's take a look at why people do this. I've heard this before, often earlier in my practice, where people said, Jesse, I'm going to spread it out between 2 or 3 different advisors, and I don't like to keep all my eggs in one basket. It's safer that way. Well, that might work for some things, but for your financial plan, for the goals that are important to you, it certainly doesn't. The first reason is that it's unnecessary. Not a lot of people know this, but there's an institution called the MFDA. Now, if you've got investment funds, mutual funds, and it covers everywhere in Canada except Quebec, so in Ontario you're certainly protected, it will cover you against the bankruptcy of your financial institution up to $1 million per account. Now, you can imagine how many accounts you can open personally. If you have a business owner or an entrepreneur, you can have a corporation as well. So you're well taken care of on this side. The other factor is it can harm your plan. Well, how can it harm your plan? Well, let's take a look. You're concentrating your risk. You're essentially diversifying things instead of diversifying. It's like going to Metro, Sobeys, and Dominion and buying the same Kraft peanut butter. You get the same product, but at different places. Think of it this way. If you've got a Canadian large cap value fund and you've got 3 different advisors setting up a properly balanced portfolio, well, you're going to have the same different sector represented 3 times. It holds your portfolio return back. But take it in another step. It's like going up to your dentist and saying, hey, just take care of my top part of my teeth. I've got another guy who's going to take care of the bottom. It's like going over to your accountant and saying, just do my taxes this year. I got another guy who's going to do it next year, and I'm going to alternate between you guys each year. Well, you can see how it doesn't make a lot of sense. In fact, when it comes down to your financial plan, if you're going to find an advisor who's going to take on that arrangement, what kind of quality of advice are you going to be getting? If someone's going to arrange to do this, they're certainly not going to give you their best effort. And if the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing, the advice is not going to be suitable. No one's going to advise you suitably on tax situations or an overall portfolio if they only represent a portion of it. Think of it this way. If you're not committed to the relationship, why should they be? Now, another factor is it's going to be the human nature factor. If you've got 2 different pieces of advice from 2 different advisors or 3 different advisors, it'll naturally start contradicting. A lot of people will say, hey Jesse, I'll just take the one that's best for me. That sounds fine, but what actually happens in practice is statistically, people don't choose any advice. They don't do anything. They actually stay put because it's paralysis through analysis. So I hope we put this question to bed. Never a good idea to diversify. Find one advisor who not only will have could demonstrate the experience, the licenses, the team behind them, but more importantly, demonstrate that they care about you. They care enough about helping you towards your long-term goals, and they're equipped to do so. But at the same time, why don't you take the extra step and represent to them why you're a good client for them? Why should they work for you for all these number of years? Hope I answered your question. That's an excellent question. I hope we put this one to bed. Jesse, signing off from the Financial Toolbox. And if you have other questions, please send them in. I'd love to hear your feedback. Subscribe to the channel, and I'd love to keep helping out people. Have a great day. Jesse, signing off.